Chapter 10. It's a beautiful sunny morning, but your mind is cloudy haze as you struggle to make sense of what Christine said the other day. Sadie begged Valerie for years to organize a neighborhood car wash, but Valerie shut her down every time. Something about showing her roots. Sadie's platinum blonde dye job is as manufactured as she is, but she's not fooling anyone. So, what sort of roots did Christine mean? Can I be excused? Yvette's grumpy voice pulls you from your thoughts, straight to Charles's living room where you're having breakfast with him and his daughter. Coffee isn't my thing. Can I go, please? Teenagers sure can be moody, and here I thought we made progress at the fair. Fine, but at least eat a piece of fruit. Waffles alone aren't a balanced breakfast. Yvette shoots a suspicious look your way, then grabs an orange from the kitchen counter and heads out. You wait until the front door shuts. I swear I'll win her over. She can be a tough nut to crack, but I promise the wait will be worth it. And she did sit down with us for breakfast and ate all of the waffles you made. Isn't that a step in the right direction? Yeah, if she had actually said 2 words to me that entire time. He takes your hand, giving it a reassuring squeeze as his thumb brushes a soothing pattern over your skin. Anyway, we're not going to solve the Yvette dilemma today, but maybe you can help me solve something else. About Sadie. Do you know anything about her past? Not really. As far as I know, she breezed into town, moved upstate when she married her late husband. So she didn't grow up an upstreeter. I don't know where she grew up. I could never cared to find out. You chew on the intel a moment, his thumb still rubbing yours, then a new theory hits you and you leap to your feet. Do you think the roots Valerie was referring to could be her downstreet roots? Her a downstreeter? It's a bit much to wrap my head around. Think about it. Valerie treated her like she didn't really belong, and you said she only moved upstreet because of her rich ex-husband. You pace in the kitchen and sit down at the table, remnants of breakfast still spread out. Charles takes the seat across from you. I need to find Sadie and test my theory. As chummy as the two of you are, I don't think she's ever going to confess something like that to you. That's why I'll be using an alternative tactic. I'll be subtle, stealthy, like a legit detective. Your train of thoughts scatter as his fingertips tickle your thigh underneath the table. Oh. I didn't invite you to breakfast to talk about her. I invited you because I wanted to spend time with you. His gaze is sultry, inviting as his fingers creep up your thigh. You squeeze your thighs together, trapping his hand between them. Where do you think you're going? Somewhere we'll both enjoy. And here I thought you invited me over for breakfast. I did, but now that the two of us are alone... The growl in his voice, he let his hand go, and in the next moment, his fingers are teasingly swiping in between your legs, making you dampen. I have a hunch you're far more delicious than what's on my plate. The option is give him a feast, and I'm saying no. You take hold of his hand, moving its promise of pleasure away. We know where it was going to land us in YouTube jail again. Your offer is tempting, but I need to focus on this Sadie lead. You prop your chin in your palm, head turned towards the kitchen window as you mull things over. How do I go about striking up this particular conversation with her? The garbage truck drives past, screeching and clunking as it maneuvers into the alley where downstreeters leave their bins on garbage day. Divine providence comes in form of a garbage truck. What do you mean? You know we call that slice of alley Trash Alley. We're here on Downstreet, but the upstreeters have no clue. Their bins are picked up curbside. So if you wanted to check your, she's a downstreeter hunch? I can see if she knows about Trash Alley. You're a genius. Give him a kiss. Grab his face, pull him in for an exuberant kiss that feels so easy and right. Remind me to be a smart more often. Sorry, but I have to leave breakfast clean up to you. I have places to be. Heading to test my theory. You know it. Better to strike while the iron's hot. You make your way up street with confidence, reaching her house just in time to witness her bossing around her gardener. What do I even pay you for? The shrubs are dying, the roses are wilting. She spots you coming and quickly changes her tone. I'm sure you'll have it looking gorgeous by the end of the day. Of course, Miss Hodgmidge. She saunters over to you, pure loathing burning out of every line of her signature smirk. Faith, I'm so glad you trekked all the way here for a visit. I've been wanting to congratulate you on your successful car wash. Oh, I owe it all to you. You were my greatest inspiration, after all. She lets out a bright laugh of hatred that only makes you enjoy yourself more. Oh, so what brings you by, neighbor? I found something that may be yours this morning. I was just bringing my bins to... Oh, what's it called again? My neighbors have told me, but I keep forgetting. Where we put our bins in the garbage truck is a hard time backing and, Yes, Trash Alley. So what did you find? Oh. Just your dignity. Did you come all this way to speak in code? That was a jab at you, but okay. Sorry, can't talk any longer. Ta-ta! You waggle your fingers and then turn and stride away, stifling your laugh at the final look of outrage you see on her face. Halfway down the street, the cogs in your head start turning again. I have a solid clue that she may have been a downstreeter, and telling the residents of Vermilion Lane would ruin her credibility. But they won't take my word for it. Sadie will just deny it. Deny. I need to find concrete proof. Just then you spot Charles at the curb chatting with an elderly woman he seems familiar with. Spotting you, Charles waves you over. Faith, I want to introduce you to Miss Clifton. Faith, what a wonderful name. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Do I know you, sweetheart? No, I thought that was just something people said to be nice. It's a pleasure to meet you. Like, hey, how are you doing? Like, Charles leans in and whispers in your ear. Miss Clifton sometimes wanders away from the senior care home nearby. I was just about to walk Miss Clifton back home. But this is my home. Miss Clifton points to the house next to yours. You flash a sympathetic smile Charles' way. Why don't I join you on your walk? Oh, yes, darling, that would be lovely. You slip your arm under Charles, and as he offers his other arm to Miss Clifton, he smiles warmly at you. Shall we? The three of you set off on your slow pace, Charles gently steering Miss Clifton and making sure she's comfortable with speed. What a sweetheart. He's so gentle with her. And that's when you notice that Miss Clifton's attention is on the arm you have looped through Charles's. I see I'm not the only beauty in your life, Charles. Is this young lady a sweetheart? Good question, Faith. Well, I am pretty sweet on Charles. You meet his gaze, feeling a flutter at the answering warmth in his smile. Miss Clifton looks up at him. Don't let this one get away. I don't intend to, Miss Clifton. The staff greets Charles warmly as you reach the nursing home and guide Miss Clifton to her room, where Charles helps her into a sofa. Here we are, home sweet home. Just in time for tea. Ricky, could you brew a kettle for me and my guests? Sure thing, Miss Clifton. They're passing by ways as agreement, and Miss Clifton motions for you and Charles to take a seat. That's very kind of you, Miss Clifton. Oh, are these photos of you from your childhood? Oh, yes, that's me when I was just 16 years old. You pick up the frame in question, noting a much younger Miss Clifton standing in front of a house with a street sign off to the side. Miss Clifton, you lived on Vermilion Lane? I still do, dear. Right in between the Higgins and Constance households. The Higgins had the sweetest little daughter who lived to pick up flowers in my garden, precious little Sadie-Anne. Sadie-Anne, tell me about this sweet girl. Well, I'll certainly start by telling you that she didn't stay sweet very long. Miss Clifton grabs a photo album out of the drawer, spine cracking as she opens it on her lap. What secrets are in here? I was shocked when she started dating old Mr. Hotchmitch from up the street. She went from church girl to hussy in 2 seconds flat. Recognize Mr. Hotchmitch from the photo you saw in her house, but the young woman under his wrinkled arm is hardly recognizable. What the hell is that over her shirt? They got married and honeymooned in Thailand. When they came back, well, she was unrecognizable. With that brand new face and those enormous tatas. Here's your tea, Miss Clifton. Thank you, darling. Right over here. As the nurse lays the teacups, she and Charles look at each other with mere stunned expressions. You were right. Sadie was a downstreeter. Everything Christine said after my car wash makes sense. Valerie was holding Sadie's downstreet roots over her head. Valerie knew the truth the whole time. But was she the only one who knew? Could Sadie really have kept a secret from everyone else on Vermilion Lane? I mean, look how much she changed. Not a lot of people realize it. Quit gossiping, you two. It's time for tea. And Charles turned back to Miss Clifton, politely taking your teacups. You take a sip as you gather your thoughts. Miss Clifton, I'm curious. Are you familiar with Valerie Wright? Oh, yes, a dreadful woman. She was a real witch. Don't get me started on her stuffy foghorn of a husband. Damn, Miss Clifford. What did they do to you? Aside from insulting me, bullying, tarnishing the name of my beloved home. Yep, that'll do it. I remember when they started that phony campaign to beautify the street. By street, they meant down street, of course. They tried to pay us downstreeters to move away so they could tear down our homes and rebuild. That made my blood just boil, it did. Sound like times haven't changed much. Grab that VHS tape from the cabinet and play it on the TV, dear. She directs Charles to her TV set. Charles removes the VHS from its sleeve and pops it in again to the slot. A grainy video starts playing. Nothing about this beautification campaign is fair. Who cares what the street looks like if I'm going to lose my home? And the money Valerie's offering won't come close to covering the down payment on a new one. And Sadie-Anne Higgins appears, shouldering her way in front of the other neighbors and addressing the news camera. Personally, I don't see what the big deal is. They can all go find somewhere else to live. It's just a house. Her face may be different, but that voice is her all right. She obviously already knew she was moving up street thanks to Mr. Hotchmitch. Suddenly you feel a jolt of surprise as a familiar face appears on screen. That's Aunt Bella. This only shows how self-centered and out of touch with reality Valerie and her husband are. I will not let them get away with this, not if it's the last thing I do. Damn, Aunt Bella. Now I wish I'd known her better. She seems like she was a real admirable person. Obviously had a fierce streak. In the end, your aunt was the only one who refused to move. Besides me, of course. Her home stayed while the others got rebuilt. This is why Valerie had it out for my house from the second I moved here. And now Sadie must be trying to make herself look better than Valerie by posthumously doing what Valerie couldn't, tearing down my house. Yeah, but she wants to tear down all of their houses. As Miss Clifton begins to ramble about some of the other neighbors in the video, look at Charles with an expression of determination. I finally have proof I need. She was a downstreeter looking to settle a generation-long vendetta. What if your word isn't enough to convince the rest of the street? Miss Clifton is exactly a strong witness. You eye the photo album Miss Clifton was showing you earlier, thinking of the photo of pre-op Sadie-Anne with Mr. Hotchmitch. Miss Clifton, might I borrow your photo album? I'm interested in seeing more of what the street used to look like. Oh, of course, sweetheart. Memories are meant to be shared, after all. She hands you the photo album, and you take it gently. Thanks for the tea and the talk, Miss Clifton. You've helped more than you know. Do come by again, both of you. We will. Enjoy the rest of your day, Miss Clifton. Miss Clifton waves merrily as you and Charles leave. You rush home as soon as you're out of the nursing home, and you arrive to find a crowd of neighbors on your front lawn, headed by Sadie. Oh, Faith, so lovely of you to join us. Oh, it is lovely, isn't it? And I'm glad you've gathered everyone here because I have something important to say. Everyone, Sadie-Anne Higgins grew up down the street. In fact, she lived down the street until she married Mr. Hotchmitch. That can't be true. Oh, it's true, all right. Might I direct your attention to Exhibit A? You open Miss Clifton's photo album to the picture of Sadie-Anne, Mr. Hotchmitch, and neighbors gasp. That's her. That's her. She doesn't even look like the same person. No, she looks like a hillbilly. Oh man, Upstreeters flipping horror at their photos of pre-op Sadie-Anne and her more humble days running through her fire hydrant water, eating a popsicle at the fair. Oh, the horror of being human. Feeling victorious, you shoots her a smirk only to falter when she shoots you a smug look of her own. I'll admit it, I used to live in the flatlands with your trash alley, your minivans, your potholes, and I gladly left it all behind. But being ashamed of one's past doesn't make one a murderer. Though one good motive for murder is getting rid of the woman who wanted to tear down your house. Isn't that right, Faith? Gasps and murmurs ripple through the crowd. Suddenly all eyes are on you. Seriously? You were there when she died. You literally saw me not kill her. Not visibly, but we all heard it was poison. And you had plenty of motive. I didn't even know she wanted to tear down my house then. I just thought she was being super snooty about it's a fixer-upper. The clean conscience you claim to have might fool most people, but I see right through it with you, Faith. Take how quickly you warmed up to Charles, after all. Leave Charles out of this. I'm afraid I can't. Everyone knows the rumors about him, and it seems like calls to like, and after all, the wife killer. I know Faith was warned about him, but she didn't even seem bothered at all. You feel Charles fidget beside you, and when you look, he has his head lowered, clearly stung and feeling betrayed by his neighbors. How dare you? You don't even believe that lie yourself. What does it say about your conscience that you can slander a man while trying to get in his pants? Well, if you don't want us to focus on Charles, shall we focus on you? You've been skulking around like a common crook since the day you moved in. How do you explain all the trespassing and breaches of privacy? It's true, the other day I saw her sneaking behind Allison and Alicia's house. That's not related. You and I both saw Valerie die. It's obvious I had nothing. I won't fall for your silver tongue any longer. I'll protect the neighborhood from the likes of you. As she sheds a few crocodile tears and neighbors start looking sympathetic, she whips out a piece of paper. The document would have allowed the HOA to demolish Faith's house. It's already been signed by Valerie. The morning of her death, no less. What? Let me see this. You snatch the paper from her hands. Signed documents. This isn't good. Yet your signature is missing, Faith. Wonder why? Because I never saw this, and if I did, I would have never signed it. Just admit it. You killed Valerie to stop her from executing this order. You, Faith Constance, are a murderer. Without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down the description of the video, ways to become more part of this community, ways to give back, ways to support. etc. are down there. With that being said, leave a comment down below in the comment section letting me know what you think about this. Otherwise, I would normally rant, but I'm quickly learning that most of you just don't care about what I have to say. That's why, if you notice today, there has been little to no commentary and no rants. So, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Goodbye.